Your map is upside down.
No, it's not.
Got my legal pad here. So these are like only halfway around, so it might be very interesting.
Guess we'll just get straight into the questions then.
Do you have questions planned out this time?
Even though we can see your clearly labeled chest, just state your name and identifying information for people who didn't get to see the last video.
I'm Zeke Brawlier.
My name is Weston Crockett. I am an electrical engineering major, about to be a sophomore.
I'm Hope Dosh. I play the viola for the InterVarsity group, and me and Seth are best friends.
Make sure to put a disclaimer on that.
I'm Brandon Boxstance. I am now a junior, or going into my third year this coming fall at South Dakota School of Mines, studying atmospheric sciences, which is the best degree at the school. Just saying, for all those MEs who will probably be watching this, your degree is kind of meh.
My name is Matthew Miller. I'm going to be a third year at South Dakota School of Mines Technology. I changed my major from electrical engineer to mechanical engineer at the beginning of this last year.
I'm Brooke. I'm a sophomore mechanical engineering student. I've known Seth since last fall/spring, in that time frame.
Hello, my name is Amanda Eubanks. I'm an awesome human. Yeah. What else am I supposed to say? I forgot what I introduced last time. Currently studying at the University of Wyoming, studying computer science. I'm from Colorado Springs, Colorado, which is now where Christopher Oram is from, which is really cool. So link here to Christopher.
My name is Christopher Oram. I am finishing my sophomore year here at School of Mines, going for mechanical engineering. I'm from Woodland Park, Colorado. I think that's my identifying information.
So I'm, Alex Spees. I just finished my sophomore year at Mines, a mechanical engineer. The one thing you should know about me is that my life goals are to fulfill the American dream of this generation. A nice house, beautiful wife, beautiful children, and 2 nice big dogs. The only thing that's different from this generation is I want a 2-stall boat dock in addition to my 2-stall garage. And then I also need to have a nice, enjoyable job so I can, live on the lake and afford all this stuff. Anything else you'd like to know about me, Mr. Wonderful Seth?
First question, what are your thoughts on the year in general?
It's been a really crazy year. Really, really crazy year. Just the whole transferring thing has been nuts. But it's been a good year too. I think I've learned a lot and probably better off for it. Hopefully I am, because I'm not transferring back or moving or anything. I would use the word mature to describe this year. I think I've grown up a lot this year. Like, I came to Wyoming and said, I want to become a listener and not get I don't want to lose my excitement for things, but it's unnecessary to get as excited about things as I did as a freshman. And so I think this year I just grew up a lot, maybe even more than freshman year. I don't really know. I think I've grown up a lot both years, actually.
I feel like this year was better than last year. I feel like I studied more, definitely tried harder in all my classes. I guess my first semester was kind of like last year, but I'd say I studied more than I did the year before. But my second semester this year was definitely a lot more studying, a lot less free time. I used to play a lot of video games on the weekends and sometimes during the week, but stopped doing that. I actually told myself that I'm not gonna play video games during the week, and that worked out. And then my friends told me I would get on during the week, and then I did it one week, and then I felt like crap the rest of the week, so I didn't do that ever again because I felt like crap. I didn't want to feel like that. So
I think that this year went better than my first year did. I started trying because I had to. The classes got a lot harder and a lot more homework, so I started trying a lot harder and I did better.
I'd say it was kind of a shock from high school because I was a 4.0 student in high school, and this year classes were tough. It wasn't as easy as it was in high school, unfortunately. It was still a lot of fun. My parents were pretty strict in high school, so having more free time and things to do that I want to do in college has been fun. The beginning of the semester, I would say I had mostly lady friends, and then I got to know the InterVarsity group, and then I became super attached because they're pretty awesome people, and then I felt like I just had a whole group of brothers. They're all so interesting. It's so funny because I feel like I'm kind of a boring person, and so it balances out my boringness with their kind of wild and craziness, like Zeke and Dan. Oh my god.
Overall, the whole year was really good, especially for my faith. I did grow closer to God. I have made some new friends, and I did really well academically.
I definitely felt this year was better than last year. I felt both spiritual and academic growth this year that was stronger than last year.
Overall, I think it went really well. Classes were harder, but my grades are better? Question mark. I think they're better. Knowing people has helped, being able to like talk to people, robotics friends outside of there, stuff like that. More of a social life this year, I think. Classes are good. I'm enjoying what I'm learning. Solids is really fun. He's a great professor, Dr. Amkis is. Kind of sad I have to have the same professor again for fluid dynamics next semester that I had for dynamics this semester. I don't want to have that guy again, but it's okay. A lot of new experiences, studying for classes in a new way that I haven't done before. I was elected robotics president this last month or so, and that happened because I was like spending a lot more time with robotics and kind of making my presence known there a little bit more. It was a good year academically though. I'm a lot more happy with how this year went than last year, even though last year was pretty good. I'm not happy about like this year. I seem to kind of have flowed over and am adjusting who I spend time with. Like I don't want to say like changing friend groups, but I'm like spreading my horizons a little bit more, which means less time with everyone, which is making me a little sad, as you've probably noticed.
Last semester was interesting because last semester I had fewer credits than I've ever had before. I found myself wasting a lot of time, which was very frustrating to me. I just didn't feel nearly as productive because I didn't have to be. And so this semester I was back up to 18 credits again, and it was really, really hard. Last semester I went very easily for me. Thermos and physics 2 both went very, very well. This semester I vastly underestimated the lab section for properties of materials. My team, we spent about half a dozen hours at least meeting together as a team every week, working on the lab report, and then often spent other time outside of that as well, finishing it up. And when a single credit class is taking up 8, 9, 10, 12 hours for a week, it just becomes exhausting. I really enjoyed it though. Properties of materials, I feel like all the information I got from there is extremely valuable, and I appreciate that, but it was definitely a very challenging class for me. Dynamics is hard, and solids, I had it with Romkes as well, and Romkes is definitely my favorite teacher here on campus I've seen so far. Just exceptional, really highly knowledgeable, goes through the very fundamentals of everything, and very encouraging for us to really grasp it on our own and have a full understanding of the material and be able to apply other concepts we've used to problems we've not seen before, which is excellent. I think he's exactly what a teacher should be. He demands a lot of discipline from the class. I really, really appreciate that. And I wish more teachers were like him. Other big things for me that went on this semester. I performed with the Performing Arts Center here in Rapid City. We put on the musical Man of La Mancha. I also played the full Dittersdorf concerto accompanied by the orchestra here at Mines as well for our final concert, which was a lot of fun. I've been working on that solo for several years now, and it's nice, one, to actually be able to perform the whole thing, because I've never actually done it before. I've performed the third movement 3 or 4 times. I performed the second movement once, but I've never performed the whole thing. And just being able to do all of it for the audience, and President Wilson and Dean Mann were there and whatnot, and it was just awesome. And now I can put it away, and I'm not going to play that solo possibly ever again. I've just played it a lot at this point.
Okay, so recap. Since last year, I went home for the summer. I got a not quite amazing, but still decent internship, as you want to call it. I sat on a computer and played with CAD models all day. And then I did that during the school year a bit. That got boring. I don't want to sit in an office and not talk to people. But it was fun when I got to go teach people how to add down on the sales floor. Over this year, I definitely grew a lot. How'd I grow, Seth? I definitely became more outspoken about me. I'm better at withholding opinions, some of them, and I like to share my other opinions a lot more. I got a co-op at home, so we'll see how that goes. It's a co-op, so that's going to be 8 months working with people I don't know, doing, I'm not sure what, and I start on Monday, I think I start on Monday, so. Yeah, those 8 months are going to be really hard, because I think I'm really going to miss all these people here at Chapter Focus Week. Saying goodbye is going to be really hard, because I know I'm not going to be able to come back for a whole 8 months, and I'm going to miss all the people. I'll miss a whole semester with these people, and coming back, it'll be like my main group of people will be a whole semester ahead of me. Maybe it'll be good and encouraging, or a good change for me, finding new people. I mean, not ditching the old guys, but they're pretty cool. I wouldn't do that too much. So that's my plan for the next 8 months. I'll probably go back to school, hopefully, unless my grades are awful, which I haven't checked yet because they might be awful. What next?
How is it different from like what you expected coming into the year?
I thought there would be more homework. None of my classes really had any homework, which is kind of stressful because then you're relying all on the tests. The teachers I actually thought would teach. My teachers are brilliant, but sometimes they don't convey what they're thinking in the classroom. I guess I just thought college teachers would be like the high school teachers, which is not true.
I expected myself to be a little more social and really try to get out there a whole lot more, but I realized I need to take it little by little at a time and be patient. God will help me with the things that He wants done, and He knows that sometimes I can be impatient and that I'm not perfect.
Honestly expecting, I don't know what I was honestly truly expecting. I know what I wanted to expect. I want, to be like amazing and perfect and all of that good things. So, I definitely hit low on that, but some things I did more than I expected. Like, I was thinking I was gonna be stuck working at Target for 8 months, but I was able to work remote for the company I worked at last summer, so that was a nice change. And then working at remote enabled me to pick my own schedule. It fit in a lot nicer with the school year. So that way I was able to get heavily more involved and much more in InterVarsity, do things outside of school, take a lot of time to go skiing, go more skiing next year. That's the thing I want to do. I probably would have thought I would have done better on school this semester, but that didn't happen. So that's next year Alex's problem.
Got 8 months to figure it out.
Yeah, those are going to be fun 8 months.
Don't forget calculus.
That's going to be something terrifying. I took Thermo for a semester this year, so I won't take Thermo 2 until at least over a year later, or almost 2. So that might be a challenge since I don't think I learned anything in Thermo 1 anyway. Also on my diff test, it was kind of like, which way is integration again? X squared is what? So, yeah, coming back will be a challenge.
Coming back from my second year, I was hoping to do better than last year. I was definitely, with doing better in school, just getting better grades and just actually learning more and applying myself better. As far as spiritually, just being able to lead a small group this year was really on my mind, and I was hoping that that would help me spiritually as well as help others.
Well, changing up my major kind of changed up how I was thinking about things. I kind of went into the semester thinking that I was going to change majors. It was a toss-up between civil and mechanical, but I liked moving things more than I liked stationary things. So I got the harder classes, yay! It was cool seeing how even in these hard classes that I was taking, I enjoyed doing the things I was doing. I enjoyed doing homework, except staying up late. Sometimes that got really annoying. I like sleep.
I was shocked. Just the difference between this semester and last semester was enormous as far as workload goes. It was only a 2 credit difference. It was 16 credits versus 18 credits. But workload wise, it felt like much more than that, especially because of Met 231, like I mentioned earlier, as well as dynamics just was very difficult. The homework problems we were assigned were at a completely different level than anything we touched in any of our classes. There were some days where I'd work through homework, and luckily I had a solutions guide for our book, but even looking at the solutions guide, I couldn't tell how they did the problem, and that was a little bit terrifying. Overall, I feel like I'm a pretty good student, so when I come across a situation like that, I'm worried not only for me, but for everyone else as well, because I know that I've paid attention well in class. I know that I've taken all of the notes that could possibly be relevant. I'm very good at that, and yet when I can't even follow the solutions guide, that's a bad sign. Overall though, I feel like this year matched my expectations. It definitely matched them much better than my first year. I was expecting college to be pretty difficult. I mean, I was looking forward to that, and I still am. I'm glad it's difficult. But first year, I definitely did not have that experience. First year, with the exception of Chem 112, which was very challenging for me, was a breeze. Both semesters. And then this year feels more like I'm going to engineering school.
What's something unexpected that happened to you this year?
Beginning of the year, I didn't think I was going to be a leader the next year. That was unexpected. I'm going to be a large group coordinator for InterVarsity Christian Fellowship. I didn't think I was going to be doing that last year, but as the year went on, it kind of seemed like I was the only person ready for the job. So the last few months have been spent preparing for being a leader.
Getting wound up in the InterVarsity group. Never expected that. That was kind of by accident. I wanted to play my viola with a group, and then I had met Dan, and then I got to play my viola for the group, and I had so much fun doing that. I kind of got more involved. That group kind of became like family to me.
I found myself a girlfriend.
That's very unexpected.
Became one of the few guys at Mines to find a girl who was also at Mines.
I have really big dreams and lots of them. So yeah, I guess I wasn't expecting most of this stuff to happen, but I thought it'd be cool if it did. Like getting this co-op is something I really wanted. It's been my plan since I, left high school. It's like, okay, I'm gonna get a co-op at home. Now that it's here, I'm not so sure if that's what I want, but that was something definitely unexpected that I was wanting.
Just the peace that I found in God this past year. Coming back to school in the fall, there was a lot of stuff on my mind. There were family matters, there was just the state of the world in general, and then as well as my academic career. And just wanting this year to be better and to come out of this year with better grades and maybe an internship opportunity and just other things like that. And there was a lot of worry on my mind. And then at cross training, that pretty much all that weight got lifted, at least for a time. It was lifted by the grace of God, and I was able to, enjoy the end of last semester. But then this semester, it just worries creep their ways back into your life sometimes. This week I'm feeling peace, but not the same kind of peace that I had last semester at cross training.
Thermo was really hard last semester. That was unexpected, just how challenging that was. But you helped out a lot with that, and I'm really thankful for that. That's really nice.
What's something that you learned this year, either about yourself or about life? Or
One thing that I learned this year in life is that you need to have backup plans. I watched so many people fail out of Mines this year that when you ask them what's next, they don't know. So that's definitely something that I worry a lot about, and I feel awful that there's all these people that I know that I feel like maybe if I just help them a little bit more or talk to them a little bit more, they would be coming back in the fall. But I mean, not everyone should be an engineer, so definitely having a backup plan is really important to do that. I learned what it means to be a Christian this year, that you can't just show up and do the things and say you're a Christian. That it's something you have to strive for every day. There's something higher than you that you have to respect that. But you also need to recognize that when you mess up, God still loves you. God's great. Get one. Preferably my God. He's pretty cool. He'll make you feel good and encourage you to be a better person, to love the people around you, and he'll also push you past your comfort zone in ways that are good for you.
I don't know about the make you feel good part.
I mean, once you get past the part that, you're an awful person, but then he loves you anyway, so that makes you feel good. Once you fully admit that, this earth is better off without you, but the people on earth need you, and that's what we're here for. We're called to be God's presence on this clump of dirt. Do you know what it was?
Yeah, we are called to be the very presence of the divine on this dirt ball.
We are called to be the very presence of the divine on this dirt ball. Seth and I worked together on that quote. Credit to both of us.
I think a big one is how much of a difference it can make to just spend half an hour or so a day talking with friends versus just doing homework. Especially my first semester. I really didn't have any friends at all to speak of, or to speak to, I suppose. Spent all my time in my room. I mean, it was fine, did well in classes and whatnot. But this semester I've really made an effort to get out more, talk with friends, visit with Seth and Adam and Tyler, see them, all three of them, almost every day now. And just little things, I went out to lunch with another member of the orchestra, and just spending half an hour off campus makes a big difference, just emotionally. It stabilizes, especially when school is just non-stop. And so sometimes I just have to force myself to get away from that, because the truth is I could spend all my time doing homework and studying and still probably not get perfect scores on my tests. So there's no reason to push myself like that. I need to spend a little bit more time outside.
I've learned that I like having someone to talk to. Like being able to go home after the end of the day and be like, yo, here's what's happened in my day. Tell me about your day. I've noticed that when I don't have that, but I still have a person to talk to, and that's not happening, I don't know, it just bothers me a little bit. Learned about life. Adulting can be difficult, even though it can be fun. There you go.
I learned the guitar. I got a guitar for Christmas and I learned that. I learned that I like learning things, especially music, so that's been fun. I learned that school isn't easy, and I learned that people were right when they said this school was mostly guys.
I learned sometimes it's really hard to trust people, but it's even harder sometimes when I mess up to ask for forgiveness from them, even though Jesus Christ died on the cross for all of my sins.
I don't know. I'd say being steady in scripture and stuff, like having a daily devotional. And it gets really hard when you get really busy. And since this year I started doing a book of the year, I kind of wanted to keep doing that each week. And it's kind of hard when you're super busy to keep in God's word.
Matt is weird. I learned that it gets more and less stressful the harder you try. Because when you try harder, you care more about how it turns out, making it more stressful, but you don't have to worry as much because you're trying harder.
I worry too much. That is by far the one thing that God's taught me. You know, I'm not sure if it's something I'll be able to completely remedy, and I doubt it is. But one of the things that I do think is that God is going to be in this battle with me my whole life. And so I have nothing to worry about, you know, despite what's going on in the world, despite whatever family matters are happening, whatever my grades are, that I will be able to continue moving on through Jesus Christ.
I guess I've learned not to judge friends on whether or not they're going to be long-lasting friends in the time, like the amount of time you spend with them. Because when I left Mines, I made predictions of like, this might be bad, but who I would stay friends with and who I wouldn't. But I've been very surprised as to who I've stayed in contact with and who I haven't. I've definitely judged a few wrong, and some of those have made me very happy that I judged them wrong, and some of them have made me a little disappointed, but I guess that I would say, like, the amount of time you spend with someone is not necessarily reflective of just, like, how awesome your relationship is and if it's going to last. Yeah.
What's something that God showed you or did for you this year?
I have to think about it.
Well, while you think about it, I skipped the most important first question. Highs and lows.
Oh no, not these again. For what, the year?
Yo.
I don't know, Seth.
You could also say, which would fix the reason that I was thinking that you may want to say the thing that you were going to say. You could just say that thing that you know, and then that'll be what you say for the high.
And then everybody
for the
watching
low.
is gonna be like, what? Overall, my general happiness level this last 2 semesters has been higher than last 2 semesters. That's making me feel a lot better. Can you edit that grammar?
I cannot, but
I have been feeling a lot better. Happiness-wise, as a general rule. Low point, I've had a lot of personal medical things happening this last school year that I'm still fighting, so I'm dealing with that, I guess.
Probably the trip to Minnesota. I really like that trip. The low of the year was probably some stuff that's been going on at home, but I've been doing good.
I'd say highs is God's been teaching me a lot this year with multiple different varsity events I've gone to, and just within my book. It's really cool how he's been teaching me this school year. My lows, I don't really know what I got on my numerical grade. I could have a B, C, or an F because the teacher doesn't give D's, and I have no idea. I don't know, I've been struggling with a lot of things spiritually. Definitely worked through a lot of my struggles, but I still have some struggles, so.
I'll start with my low. I had to walk down an entire flight of stairs to use a kitchen because I didn't have a kitchen on the floor of my dorm, and it sucked. My high had to be every week on a Sunday, usually a Sunday, when Clint would come back into the room carrying another box of junk he bought at an auction, and just seeing what was in that box of junk.
My low is definitely that my ski partner got a girlfriend and cut our ski season short. Looking at you, Zeke. We'll see after I get my diff score. That might be the big low this year. But if not, that'd be a great high. Another high is, skiing. Also that I found some decent friends at college. That's pretty good.
As opposed to last year.
Yeah, the ones I found last year were pretty crappy.
High point of the year, there's a lot of amazing things that happened this year, but I'm going to have to say the orchestra concert for me. I've been building up to that for 4 years now, and I certainly haven't been just dead set focused on getting good, playing that solo and whatnot, but I've played it so much. And being able to finally have all that work come to fruition, and having my parents, my grandparents, and President Wilson and a lot of friends there, that was amazing. The possible competition for high point was the blacksmithing lab with Met, just because it is so different from anything I've ever done. I'm still putting the orchestra concert as the one, but honorable mention also goes to hiking Harney Peak with Tyler and Aaron and Matthew, and Amanda. We went around and tried to find Poet's Table and utterly failed, and we just completely exhausted ourselves before we'd even really started the hike. And then we hiked Harney Peak, and we were all just collapsed at the top of the mountain, and it was just great. So after leaving Seth's room after the interview, I realized I made a couple big mistakes, namely that I forgot that I had a life outside of school, albeit a small one normally. My section of highs, while they were all great events, were absolutely not my high for the semester. The high for me this semester was getting into the new POC program. Went to Charleston to tour the prototype and power school facilities in South Carolina. It was kind of interesting. I've never been in anything with such tight security before, which I suppose makes sense, but it was a situation where we had our little red ID tags that said visitor on them, and basically if you were ever seen anywhere with a red badge and not accompanied by somebody else, you were probably going to be tackled. Going to the bathroom, which was one door away from the room we were in, you had to take someone with you. I mean, it was a very serious situation. Being there made me realize just how much more I would like to be a teacher than to be an engineer. And so that's what I'm going to do. I had never really considered the military at all before coming to school. Now here I am. It's amazing to meet people that have dedicated their lives to the Navy, to the United States. I guess in my mind, when I picture people from the military, I often picture huge guys, like kind of the gym rat physique, not all that bright, not all that happy, was kind of my view of people in the military before I came here and started looking into it more. But going to DC and meeting the reactor engineers, and especially meeting Admiral Caldwell, completely changed all of that. And even being at Power School, I didn't meet a single officer who even looked a little bit downcast, let alone unhappy. And certainly there are a couple people that are massive gym-going bodybuilders, but a lot of them are really pretty ordinary people, and it really connected much more with me than I thought it would. Low point of the year was my first MET test, probably. That one really hurt because I went into the test feeling confident. I took the test and felt confident, left the test, felt confident, got a low C. And that was not good. I've never had that experience before, where I really felt through the entire process like I knew exactly what I was doing, and yet managed to do very poorly. That was really an eye-opener, and not one I particularly enjoyed.
The next question is, what's something that God showed you / did for you this year?
I think God's really shown me his timing and to be patient in what he's doing in my life. And I think that's all manifested in the fact that I'm now officially part of a sorority, but it's taken over 1.5 years for this to become a thing. There are a lot of lessons that I learned, and looking back on it now, I'm like, yeah, they made me a better person. But it's taken a long time to see, and I'm glad it worked out this way. But also I'm like, well, it would have been nice if I would have known that to start with, but obviously that's not going to be a thing because I've never heard of God just sitting down with his little roadmap and showing us. But after I was initiated last weekend, Saturday morning during quiet time, I felt like what I think could be what God calls peace. I've kind of had this past week an attitude of well, I just don't care. Which it's not I just don't care and I'm not going to work anymore and I'm not going to do anything. I'm still going to try my best and I'm going to do my best. But the outcome is with God, and whatever happens is going to be for my best interest. All he does require of me is to do my best. And to be honest, that's the least I could do because I'm saying a lot of he died for me and stuff, so the least I can do is do my best, I guess.
In my book that I've been reading, my book of the year, each week I've been having different difficulties within life, and so each time I read it, it usually has an answer in it, which is really nice. It's really cool to see how God's working in my life, how He wanted me to do this book of the year. And so as I go through these problems and I read this book at the same time, it's really cool seeing how they mesh. My book of the year is in Deuteronomy, and so the last few parts of the second chapter, I was reading about how God has fought for us and that He's paved the way for us, and we should rely on Him instead of fighting it with our strength. And it was really cool seeing that because this summer I have to raise my funds for my paycheck basically. I work for Child Evangelism Fellowship, and this is the first year I've had to raise my own funds to get a paycheck, and so my mom's kind of worried about my income, and I've been telling her that it's fine, it's gonna be fine. But yeah, it was really cool seeing how that was right there at the right time.
Not to like diss my friends from home, but they don't have the same attitude about life as I do, and they definitely lead me down some bad paths. And I was looking for friends like those when I got to college. I was really discouraged because like I'd find them, but I'd be like, I'm not sure I like these people. So this year I became a lot more confident with my friend groups there, and I feel like that God has provided for me through InterVarsity a great group of friends people, and provided more here at the end of the year that I'm really looking forward to getting to know more next year. Community is a huge thing that everyone needs. And again, back to the everyone fails minds. I feel that if you have a community, you're gonna do a whole lot better and like yourself more.
God taught me that He's in all the little things that we experience, especially like how we interact with other people. We're all given each a unique set of gifts that we're supposed to use to help our brothers and sisters out.
He showed me that I can be honest and vulnerable with people as long as I actually go out and do that and work at it and trust God to know what to say.
Last year, I think one of the things that I learned the most is that I shouldn't be dwelling on my own. I should start to rely on God more and to allow Him into my life in more places than He was before I came to college. This year's really compounded on that because of one of the things that's not allowed Him into my life, has kept Him out, is all this worry that I let myself fall into. And just this idea that all I have to do is seek peace from Him and that peace will be with me. It's just very comforting, some of the things I've been learning this past year as well. Especially through my small group, God's grace and His mercy and His love for His people and all people.
I've gotten a little bit of a better relationship with my dad this semester. It wasn't ever like too awful, but it's just gotten better, and we've been able to talk a little bit more.
He's helped me come closer to people who I would have never guessed were Christian, but really were trying to live out their faith and that were as far on their spiritual journey as I was, if not farther.
I think a big one is for spending more time with Mirab. I really admire her devotion and her enthusiasm. She has a serious gift of being able to express that to other people. And not only is she so enthused about what she is saying and everything about prayer and about God, but she's able to lift up other people to that realization as well. And I really hope to work on that for myself. Huge impact and definitely a true statement, but not the major event. I joined the Catholic Church. I can now say with certainty, I believe that the Catholic Church is the true church that Christ wanted and created, and I believe that however correct they are, of course, I have no way to say. I mean, I'm not God. He's, I'm sure, the only one that can say anything like that. But the Catholic Church truly wants to keep up the tradition that Jesus set forth when He was here to the very highest possible degree, and are very committed to that goal and have been completing that goal for millennia. That tradition is what is keeping me in the church.
And last but not least, what's some advice that you would give to people who are just coming out of their freshman year, going into their first summer break, and gearing up to come back for their second year next fall?
I think the single most important thing you can do to improve your life emotionally as well as academically is to have a regular sleep schedule. If you don't have one, get one. Getting up at the same time every day is fantastic. If you end up only getting 3-4 hours of sleep because you're waking up at 5:30 every morning, that's fine. Your body can handle it. That's the best advice I can give.
Well, start early looking for a summer job or internship, and stay in contact with people that you want to be in contact with for the next year.
So I had big, awesome plans of like, I'm gonna be able to finally do all of my fun things over the summer. Like I can do crafting projects or read books or, things like that. Then I spent like a week or two just like, okay, finals are over, I can relax, this will be good. But then it took me a while to get back into things again, and then I didn't get as much done as I wanted to. Get started on your things right away. You're used to being busy, keep yourself busy, otherwise it's gonna be hard to get back.
Goal setting. I think that it's important to set short-term and long-term goals for your academic life and your spiritual life. Don't become discouraged if some of those goals aren't met immediately or in the way that you want them to. Having a plan helps, and then when the plan goes wrong, just don't worry, don't become discouraged. Seek understanding from God.
Go about summer with the intent of furthering your walk with God and getting disciplines down. Start reading your Bible every day, praying consistently to God. It's not just a thank you God for this, it's a consistent conversation with God. Yeah, just getting that down, because it'll be harder to break once you get to school, because it'll be basically a habit.
Living on campus. I went through that not living on campus this year. I mean, yeah, it was cheaper, but at the cost of, missing out on dorm life, not having a roommate, all of those things that, everyone's excited for at college. Also, just the community aspect of it. Walking down the hall and be like, yo, how do you do this problem? Instead of staying there late at night every night to do that. Go to school at 8 and then leave at 4 o'clock in the morning sometimes. So it'd be like, it'd be nice if I had just, had a bed over here that I could sleep on. So living on campus definitely has its benefits that outweigh any of the drawbacks that it has from my experience of the 2 years of doing both. Oh, that's another thing. Find a girl. They go quick. All the good ones. Then you get left with the weird ones. And you don't want the weird ones most of the time. Get a girl. Get a wife. She'll make you happy. I hope. Pick smart, not just a girl, but So Dream Girl here. Free Falling from Tom Petty. I think Tom Petty. Edit that over if that's wrong. America, Jesus, and her boyfriend, loves her mama. Those are the 4 things. That's all you need in a girl. I mean, besides snow, rich parents, all the other good things. Love them like God loves you.
Do not transfer universities in 2 months. Yeah, really bad life decision. Enjoy this summer, because this is probably the only summer you won't be stressed out about having an internship. Go play with puppies. Smell some sunflowers. I don't know. If you're a Mines boy, pull yourself together. Get some new clothes, put a new shirt on your back, shave, and come back the next year, because there'll be a lot of really cute freshman girls that'll come in. There are very few girls at Mines, so you want to be on the hunt for a really nice, awesome girl, and yeah, they get snagged up really fast. Go talk to Chaz if you have questions. He did it right. What other advice do I have? If you're not comfortable in your own skin yet, get comfortable, because it's only going to get worse, kid. That probably wasn't very nice. It's gonna get better, kid. Don't worry. Don't worry. College gets better. If you're not using a planner yet, use a planner. Or it could even just be a sheet of paper that you write to-do lists on. Don't try to keep it all in your head, because you will forget something. Oh, if you're a freshman coming into Mines, never mind.
You can give advice for others too, because I'll have both in this video.
If you're a freshman, make use of your first semester at Mines and go meet Brenna Mullet. It will be the best life decision you have ever made in your entire life. If you don't meet her and she's there, then you're just missing out on life, bud. Do something you really enjoy, because school is hard. And maybe it's something related to school, like maybe it's like blacksmithing club or something, but get involved with something outside of classes, outside of studying, outside of your study groups, because it's fun and you'll get some friends who won't let you hermit in your room all day, because that's something that you could really do. You should also get study groups. Don't try to go it alone, man. Lone fishing is not fun. Don't be a little fish trying to swim on your own. Go get, what are they called? Sea of fish? Families of fish? I don't know what they're called, but groups of fish. Go join a group, man. Swim with other fish. Because school is hard, and you need people that when you all fail a test, you can all cry together. That way you're not just in your room, hermiting alone, crying by yourself.
My advice is don't worry about these things. They're only temporary, and that just to have patience in everything that is happening to you and in everything you do, and really trusting that it's all going to work out in God's time, and that just to trust in Him in everything.
I guess I knew school was going to be hard, but I didn't think it was going to be this hard. It's really hard. Prepare for a lot of sleepless nights. Stay fun. Keep learning new things. Never stop trying to improve. Don't meet people, Names said. Otherwise, they'll try to take a video of you and humiliate you on YouTube.
That's all my prepared questions, unless you want to just add anything for the internet or posterity or future you.
Hey Seth, define what posterity means when you send me an email with that in there, or any other word that you wouldn't think a normal person would know. Slightly stupider than I, because I will amaze you with how stupid I am. Get a good girl, love God, be a good person, make it better. I don't know. I'm not smart yet. Ask me in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years when I graduate. I don't know when I'm gonna graduate, Seth. Help.
I miss hanging out with nerds. It's not something I thought that I would miss, but I really do. I miss just like geeking out over stuff. I miss having a thermostat that I can turn down. I thought living with Amy was really hot. It's not. It's nothing in comparison.
Just taking Origins here at Chapter Focus Week has really spoken to me. And so I'd really like to just take a group of people through the Old Testament and see all the riches of knowledge that are there.
So on this video, are you gonna have like a little answer your own questions type thing? So that's what I missed about on the other one. I was really hoping you would talk about your year. I think it could be an interesting touch.
If someone else wants to make a video where they interview me, I'll do it, but I'm not going to put it on my channel.
No! Well, future people, convince Seth to add something to this video of his own in that manner.
I feel like I should ask questions about you. School's great, and that may be a lie, but fake it till you make it, right? The people you meet along the way are gonna be, hopefully, your friends for life, or you'll get to know the people you want to hang out with, or the kinds of people you want to hang out with. No, I want to make to my future self. Do not get interested in any guys, do not get married, and do not have kids. Please, I'm begging you, don't do it. Boys are no good for you. They're good friends, but they're no good for you.
That is an accurate statement. Boys are no good for you. But men, on the other hand.
Men are no fun. You're allowed to have guy friends. Otherwise, you'd never survive here at mine. But no husbands. At least not until you're 30. But no kids.
Like I said earlier, just try to get a daily devotional time and prayer time during the day. It's a relationship, not a, hey God, do this please, bye. And if you are struggling with anything, try to find somebody that's struggling with the same thing and you can talk through it with them. That happened with one of our small groups this year. I believe it really helped a lot of the men that were in the small group work through their struggles. Stay classy and stay golden pony boy.
So to myself, if you see this video, just remember to be patient. In ways it will definitely get harder, but Jesus is here. He's alive in you. He's living in your heart. Remember to trust fully. God definitely has a purpose for you here on this earth. So just remember that and just stop worrying so much about the past, about the future. Just focus on the present. Obviously don't do drugs, alcohol, stuff like that.
Did you find the $1 million?
No, not yet.
Did I ever tell you my joke about buttload?
I hate cameras because it just looks like a cyclops eye. It's like constantly staring at you.
WASD, arrow keys.
Yeah.
I hate that. I can't do it.
I hate Bill Nye. Bill Nye is not real science.
I had several different books about particle physics, and every single one said different things about everything. I just got done with it. So I emailed my teacher. I was like, yeah, so no one has a clue what they're talking about.
It sank or the water rose?
It was blown into a crater, and then the crater filled in with water.
Okay.
I said that in Japanese, and he just went off. And he was speaking so fast, and I have not a clue. I didn't catch a single word, not one word of what he said.
I'll finish reading your text to me or whatever, and then I'll go to like talk to someone else or text someone else, and I'll start having like the thy and the thee and like things like that in my head, and I'm like, no.
Politics this year was pretty cool. Not what I expected. We'll see how it goes. I'm excited, but I'm also afraid I'm going to be severely disappointed.
Don't tell me it's on my phone. I didn't know it could be on there.
It's free.
What did I just say?
How about the InterVarsity group? How would you describe that to me?
We should stop before I get aggressive and angry and upset.
Yeah,
And become a bad person. You know how I go.